Over the years, humans have been involved in several sporting activities like football, wrestling, tennis, and a host of others. But there is one form of sport that finds itself in controversy more than any other. It is an activity that some consider a sport, while others consider it cruel. This form of sport, trophy hunting, involves the hunting of carefully selected animals, frequently big game such as rhinos, elephants, lions, pumas, and bears, under official government license for pleasure.
Nice shot.
The trophy is the animal or its head, skin, or any other part that the hunter keeps as a souvenir. Trophy hunting has been practiced in Africa for centuries, popularized by British wild hunters and conservationists such as Frederick Selous, Walter Bell, and Samuel Baker, who hunted and accumulated animals for natural history museums in British colonies in Africa and India. These resulted in the advancement of a new form of tourism industry that generates many millions of revenue for Africa per year.
Alors, la chasse au trophée, c'est une pratique un peu d'un autre âge, qui s'apparente un peu au safari, qui est discutable à la fois d'un point de vue éthique évidemment, parce qu'on fait un business à partir de notre faune sauvage, et puis on voit qu'il y a différentes zones d'ombre qui entourent cette pratique. Et puis c'est aussi une pratique qui est problématique au niveau biologique, parce qu'on s'attaque à un type spécifique d'individus qui sont les vieux mâles, qui sont de très bons reproducteurs et qui assurent la survie des populations.
In terms of ethics and morals, to hunt an animal only to be mounted on your wall, I think it's a little bit questionable and a little bit unethical.
No doubt, trophy hunting is a major industry in parts of Africa, creating inducement for wildlife conservation over vast areas which otherwise might be used for alternative or less conservation-friendly uses. This is a major concern for the African continent and the international community, leading to the call on the European Union to shut down the ivory trade in March 2018.
Well, the European Union's ivory markets matter. What we see is that Europe has become both a destination and a transit hub for illegal ivory, and it's crucial that this trade is shut down if we're going to protect these magnificent animals here. Now, we also know that Europe's the biggest exporter of legal ivory in the world, and a lot of it goes to Asia. That's where we're trying to reduce demand for ivory to protect elephants, so obviously sending shipments of ivory from Europe to Asia isn't helpful at all, and that's why that trade needs to stop.
In most parts of Africa, trophy hunting is a key component of community conservation schemes. According to available data from the Humane Society International, trophy hunters contribute at most 0.03% of the gross domestic product and around 0.76% of overall tourism jobs, creating economic benefit for local communities, especially through jobs and meat. However, these activities endanger and threaten hundreds of wildlife slain by trophy hunters each year. The international community has stated over time that shooting wild animals for fun is cruel, wasteful, and pushes endangered species closer to extinction.
There are far more humane and ethical ways in which you can cull animals or put into place conservation measures. When you talk about trophy hunting specifically, you must remember that when they kill the animal, oftentimes they're not killing for a clean shot. Once off, the animal's dead. Very rarely will, and I'm not going to call them hunters, I'd rather say that they're shooters. Very rarely will a shooter, shoot the animal in its head because they want to then stuff that animal and have it mounted on a wall.
According to his Africa Trophy Hunting report, South Africa was the world's second largest exporter of animal trophies over the period, having exported 16% of the global total of trophies and 4,204 on average per year. The United States was the largest importer of trophies from South Africa, taking 54% of what was exported. While the United States tops the list of importers, British legislators have taken a position to protect the declining wildlife numbers by imposing a ban on the import of hunting trophies. While this is a welcome development, especially for Africa's wildlife, South African taxidermists fear for the future of their trade, especially as most hunters pay thousands of dollars for the right to kill, usually big animals like elephants and lions.
The ban in the UK is going to be one of the world's largest and most comprehensive ban. I mean, it's covering thousands and thousands of animals. And I think that can very much act as an example to the rest of the Western world and elsewhere where trophy hunting imports are still permitted. And I think, the UK can lead as an example here.
The legal wildlife trade has been cast, there's a shadow being cast over them. That everything that we do is illegal and that we are killing off all the animals, and that is so much far from the truth. It is not true. Why will I kill my own market? Why will I kill off my own market, my own sources?
The new British law is also seen as the beginning of a change in attitude among European countries, as similar legislation is being considered in countries such as Italy, Belgium and Spain. While countries are taking the initiative to curb the activities of trophy hunters, some communities and business owners in South Africa that have thrived for years exporting trophies feel threatened by the British law, sponsored by animal activists. The law would sink demand for the centuries-old craft of stuffing animals quarry for display, leading to painful job losses in top international hunting destinations in South Africa.
If they're going to ban this job, it's going to cost a lot to me, because they're going to not manage to feed my family, everything. Because for me, I think all of us here working here as the workers, we get to survive from these things.
The UK government is not alone in this journey. South Africa's National Council of Societies for the Protection of Cruelty to Animals has also stated that hunting an animal for it to be mounted on one's wall is questionable. Also, the Convention of International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora seeks to regulate international export and import of specimens of wild animals, including hunting trophies, at sustainable levels. The time is long overdue to banish trophy hunting. While most critics consider the trade as a viable alternative for Africa's economy, the reality, as proven in Botswana, shows that non-consumptive wildlife tourism, if well managed, is sufficient for funding and managing conservation.